Blumpkin and Friends, starring your host, the Reverend Johnny Blumpkin.
You like that? You like that?
Hey kids, I'm the Reverend Johnny Blumpkin, and with me here today is
Mrs. Number One Fan.
my friend Mrs. Number One Fan is here. It's been a little while. Last time we talked about gross things that children do. Today I thought we would talk about kids and extracurricular activities and how bad they are at them and what it's like to be a parent having to deal with that shit. I, so far, have only had to deal with the juice because Chi-Chi's 3.5. She can't do anything yet. So I've been through 2 sessions of karate with the juice, and now she recently started with gymnastics. Buddy, what the fuck? I just fucking cleaned the cat box.
He wants to be petted again.
Nothing he did in there right now warrants that much scratching around. What a cock. Okay, so let's see. The oldest one's 13 now.
Yep.
I better write these down.
Oldest is 13.
Uh-huh.
Then 10.
Uh-huh.
Almost 9. She'll be 9 on Saturday.
Okay, we're just going to call her the 9-year-old.
And then the last one is 6.
Okie dokie. So I know the 13-year-old has done baseball.
Yes.
What else?
Baseball.
All right. The 10-year-old has done what besides peeing his pants?
Soccer.
Okay, the 9-year-old, has she done anything?
She's in gymnastics.
She's in gymnastics. Which leaves us only with the 6-year-old, and she's also in gymnastics?
Yes.
That's got to be fun.
It is.
You've been dealing with that longer than I have. So we'll start with the 9 and the 6-year-old because they're both yours. Mm-hmm. The boys, the 13 and 10-year-old, are Tim's from his first marriage. And obviously the 6-year-old is your only child in common.
Correct.
So, the girls, gymnastics. Tell me all about it.
I hate watching them pick their butts when they're leotards. It just drives me crazy.
Don't they just wear pants?
No,
Like-
they were leotards.
Leotards.
I feel like I'm the only parent that their kids do that. So, like, when they wave to me, everybody knows that I'm their parent. And then when they're just standing there and they're, like, picking, it's like, stop it.
Does it look more like they're adjusting their clothing or more like they're actually digging in their ass?
Well, the 6-year-old is, like, digging. And then the 9-year-old is, I don't really know what she's doing half the time. I honestly can't tell you.
Either one of them, you ever catch them smelling their fingers afterwards?
Yes.
Yes! It's the 6-year-old, isn't it?
No.
Really?
Really?
That actually surprises me that the younger one is not the grosser one.
Oh, trust me, she's definitely gross.
Well,
but
I know that.
yeah, it's the 9-year-old that actually does that. I've seen her do it a few times.
Picks her underoos out of her butt crack and then smells her fingers.
Yep.
I feel like that's indicative of an underlying problem that's bigger than just a leotard up your ass, and maybe she needs to get better at wiping.
Well, she actually told me, and we went to the Renaissance Festival this year with the kids. We usually go adults only and then one weekend with the kids. Her and the 10-year-old, on our way back to the car after we were done, we had to stop at the porta potty.
Uh-oh.
And I love my children, but sometimes they just do the grossest stuff. And what she ended up doing, there was no toilet paper in there. So she told me that night after she had a crying fit that she actually used toilet paper from the floor. Yeah.
That happened to me once. I was down at the Coon Rapids Dam after hours, and I sat in the porta potty, and it was dark in there, and I'm like, oh, God, there's almost no toilet paper. So then I had to use the wrapping from the toilet paper that was still in there.
Yeah.
And that didn't work. And then I actually took off the cardboard roll.
Really?
Very carefully, and then I tried wiping with it. You only get about 2 wipes with that, otherwise you get shit all over your hands.
Ew.
And then
that didn't feel good.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I didn't mind it. It didn't, like, give me sexual stimulation. That's not what I'm getting at.
That's good.
I was not yet clean, though, at that point. So what I did is I had to take off my T-shirt and rip off the sleeves.
What?
Really?
Yes, it had sleeves when I went in. It did not when I left.
Good thing it was a porta potty.
Right. And then I continued walking across the dam over to the Hennepin County side, and I went walking one of my usual bike paths. Well, I wound up in a neighborhood about a quarter mile away from the dam, and there was I still felt a little sticky.
Uh-huh.
And there was some paper toweling that was just like magically sitting there. Two squares of paper towels. They smelled clean. And then somebody had their sprinkler system on. So I just kind of gingerly walked over, got the toilet, one wet, gave myself a little cleaning, and then the other one I dried it off with. And then I kept walking because I didn't want anybody to be like, that man was just playing with his ass at the end of my driveway. He's a pervert. Arrest him, please. I mean, it's not my fault. I had to go poop, and there wasn't toilet paper, and then I ran out of stuff, and then I used my sleeves, and I didn't want to have to throw my T-shirt away, so I did this paper toweling. You left your sprinkler on. You pretty much invited this to happen.
Pretty much.
This is your fault, not mine.
Should have just dropped trowel and gave yourself a bidet.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit there and, like, hover over it. Well, it wasn't like a little sprinkler. It was an in-ground. It had some pressure.
Oh, okay.
That's not a bidet, all right?
No, that's not.
That's like a Sierra Mist commercial. The old ones where they do something refreshing and be like, it's kind of like that. Yeah, it's kind of like getting a sprinkler right up your beehole.
What is that called? That's, they shove the water hose up your butt.
A colonic?
Yes.
It's not exactly the same thing. And the Dirty Bee can tell you that because she's had several of them.
I've never had one of those.
Well, there's one up in Anoka off of 4th and Grant by the old milk factory.
Oh, I know exactly where that is.
And there's a colorectal therapy building on the on the end. There's a shop. And you go there and there's a bed and you sit there and you slowly insert this straw in your butt. And then you just lay there and they shoot water up there. And then somehow the straw stays up in you while the poo's coming out. And I don't know. She might have a leaky butthole.
Yeah, how's that feel?
It's probably got 2 separate tubes going in it. One to spray the water and one to suck it out.
No, it doesn't suck it out.
Well, okay, slides out.
No, it just comes out of your hole.
Okay.
It bypasses the water straw. And I don't know. I'm mesmerized by the alleged logistics of this. And I almost want to go there just to see it happen in person, just to see how this functions.
If you do, you'll have to let me know.
I don't think she's going to let me stare at a straw up her butthole while she's pooping out of it.
Probably not.
Because, I mean, if she did that, I'd have to put a ring on her finger. Because you meet a woman if you meet a girl that lets you watch her shit while she's on a table with a straw in her butt, marry her. That's a keeper. So that's gymnastics. What else have we got in the gymnastics realm?
Just kids being kids. I don't really have any weird stories or... we had Juice's first gymnastics last week. And we got there and... She just started.
Okay. So, obviously she's terrible. I'm not going to be like, well, she's very new at this. She's still... Fuck you. Liberal pussy parents. My kid's terrible at gymnastics.
Okay, I'll probably have a few stories for you after this.
She wouldn't sit still. She kept taking off her name tag and putting it over her mouth and on her forehead. Because it was like a sticker one that said her name. And then she was somersaulting and then she'd like go, like she was going to tumble and end up straight. But then she'd fall sideways. Mm-hmm. And then they had to do stuff with jumping. She doesn't jump. Like she doesn't understand the concept of jumping. She just kind of like hops and lifts her feet off the ground. And it's deceptive unless you're borderline mentally retarded and you're like, you didn't even fucking jump.
Give them time. They'll learn how to jump.
I don't know. I've been trying to teach her how to fucking jump for 6 years and she still ain't figured that shit out. Yeah. The Chi-Chi, she's like a fucking Mexican luchador the way she's jumping off of shit and catch me. But not the Juice. And all these uncoordinated 6 and 7-year-olds, and some of them seem to be stupid. Mm-hmm. It happens. I am waiting for one of these kids to snap their neck.
I am so scared. I'm so afraid. Especially when they do like the, where they have to do...
Tumbling?
Yeah, but it's also...
Handsprings and shit?
Yes. Starting to learn how to do all that stuff. But when they go to do like the somersaults, and then there's also the one where they have to put their hands down and then act like they're going to do a handstand. Mm-hmm. I've watched both of them do that, and I'm just like, oh God, please don't, please don't, please don't. And I'm so afraid that they're going to like break a finger, break an arm, break a leg, but what you said, snapping the neck is like the most,
They try to do the somersaults, and they put their head down, and then they put all the weight on their neck, and then they try to jump, and they jump, and you see their neck contort, and I turn to the beast, and I'm like, one of these kids is going to end up in a wheelchair, not the kind that you move with your hands. The kind where you're stuck in it for life and you blow into a straw to steer the fucking thing.
Well, that's why they make you sign that waiver when you start.
What waiver?
There's a waiver that you have to sign when you do gymnastics that you're not holding the gymnastics facility liable for any injuries.
This is in the basement of the middle school. This is community education gymnastics.
Okay. Mine are like in physical gymnastics.
Oh, yeah, this is just the stripped down El Cheapo version of that.
Okay.
Because we are not rich.
I'm not either by any means, but somehow I get by with having two of them in there.
Well, you are also a double income household. Split between 4 kids. I'm a single income household. And the beast doesn't really pay much towards this shit. I paid $30 and she paid the other $29. Sounds like an even split, but I paid for both karates. That all came out of my pocket. Well, it's your thing. And I want to be like, well, fucking gymnastics is your thing. Eat a dick. That's how math works, bitch.
Yeah.
So fast forward to tonight, it's class number 2, and I got there late, and I saw a half an hour of it, and she was fucking with the name tag, which she was doing her somersaults. She was doing them right. She was tucking her head down and rolling her body, not like hopping and then balancing on her vertebrae. Mm-hmm. And then they were doing these jumpy things. I don't even know what the fuck you call them. She don't jump. So she was just like kicking one leg and then kicking the other leg. She wasn't like jumping and then kicking each leg like she's supposed to. But she's got the lifting her arms up and at the end, right?
Are they trying to jump and sort of do the splits?
No, they're kicking both legs forward.
Oh, yeah, I watched my girls do that too.
They're kind of working like floor exercise stuff, but then they brought out a mini balance beam, and it's only like 7-8 inches off the ground. Mm-hmm. She went over it once, and she seemed to do it flawlessly, which I was surprised about because she is really fucking uncoordinated. How she hasn't fallen down the stairs yet is beyond me. I mean, I've fallen down these stairs.
Have you?
My heel slipped, and comically enough, I skidded down every step on the way down as I tried to grab for the handrail and the ledge. And I just kept slipping and slipping and slipping. And then I got to the bottom, like, fuck it. I just let go and caught myself with my elbows. I bruised my triceps, but otherwise I was fine. I was laughing at the end. It's just like, ha 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 ha. I was not expecting that.
I'm terrified to fall down the stairs. I really am. I've watched too many movies of people falling down the stairs.
Well, I think the key is to know that if you think you're going to fall, to quick grab for the handrail to minimize the amount of broken neckedness.
Yeah, that's true. My 6-year-old had to learn how to do the crab walk.
Oh.
When she first started doing gymnastics.
That's a very ladylike maneuver.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I felt embarrassed not only for myself but for her as well. Every time she tried doing it, she would act like she fell and she'd giggle and she'd hold up the line. And then her teacher would all be like, come on, you need to hurry up. It's like, why do you coddle these kids? If they're going to learn how to do something, you need to actually like freaking put your fist down and say, you need to start doing this better. Come on, let's try harder.
Or stop screwing around. You're screwing everybody else out of fun time.
That too. Yep. So they actually have stopped doing it. I don't know if it's because of my 6-year-old.
It's solely because of your 6-year-old. They said, you know what? That little bitch, I am sick of it.
All the little girls are complaining they don't want to do it anymore.
That could very well be.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
So your kids were butt pickers. Are there any other butt pickers in class?
I see a few other girls throughout the whole gym doing it, but not as much as my girls.
Because they're the only ones wearing leotards.
Everybody's wearing leotards.
Oh. See, at Juice's class, there's only like 3 kids that are wearing leotards, and they look more like swimsuits.
Oh, okay.
Like somebody was just really lazy, and at the last minute, like, fucking put on your one piece. I don't know. Let's go. Come on, we got to be there in 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, they go to Jam Hops gymnastics. For gymnastics, and my sister's youngest daughter actually goes there too, and she's on an Excel team where they do like traveling and stuff like that. She's won lots of medals too.
And so the coach is what? Is she like an angry old half Russian bull dyke, or what's she like?
Not Russian. I can tell you that.
What about like student teachers? They got any of those?
Well, what do you mean, like teacher aides?
Sure. Like
No.
former students that also used
yes.
to go there
Yeah.
that are now years more experienced.
Mm-hmm. Most of them are.
And what would you say their age group is?
20, maybe 18 to 26.
So they're
postgraduate.
legal.
Yes.
So I'm taking my kid to the wrong place because they have actually legal teacher aides. Because
Yes.
when I think of gymnasts, all right, they don't always have pubes. But what they do have are tight muscles everywhere else, an incredible rock-solid core, and what I've never experienced is a woman that can crush a walnut shell with her cooch.
Yeah, you'd probably find one or two there.
Oh, God, we are doing this all wrong. What we got is a couple of high school girls, and they wear these god-awful fucking tight-ass pants that go right up their ass crack, and they're obviously wearing thongs, and I'm not trying to check out their asses, but they're standing with their back to me the majority of the time, and every
Yeah.
time they move, I'm like, oh, God damn it. Can you fucking turn sideways? I mean, maybe I got to sit in a different part of the room, because we're sitting, like, staring the long way towards what the kids are coming towards us.
Yep.
All the other parents are at 3 tables going sideways across the room, but it's like a sardine can over there. However, tonight, this one girl's mom, I like 3-4 times I caught her looking at me.
Really?
Yeah. And then as they're leaving, they're putting on their coats, and then she's looking at me again, and I'm like, okay, what's going on here?
Maybe she recognizes you from somewhere.
I don't recognize her, and I remember a lot of inmate faces. I'd remember a chick with the blonde hair and a Monroe piercing.
You're listening to Blumpkin and Friends.
Let's move on to Pele himself, the 10-year-old.
Oh, okay. Well, he used to play soccer.
We've moved on to the things that she's taken notes about now.
Yeah. Well, my wonderful husband has given me a few things to discuss because I never went to their soccer games or softball games because I had to stay home with the 9 and 6-year-old. But when our 10-year-old, my husband thinks he was 5 at the time. One day playing soccer, one of the kids gets a soccer ball, runs down the field. Yay, 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 I'm going to score. He scores a goal. Yay! But it's for the wrong team. I don't really know a whole lot about what my 10-year-old did, except for the fact that he doesn't really like playing on a team. He can't play on a team for his life.
Well, first off,
He's an angry kid.
Let me describe soccer for you. There's a ball, you run after it, you kick it, you run after it some more, and then you wait for it to come near you to hope to kick it, but then you just run up after it some more.
That's like what I did when I played basketball.
Yeah, that's fucking soccer. It's so ungodly maddening if you're not into it. If he's frustrated, I understand his frustration. My parents didn't know what to do with me at first, so they put me in soccer, and I kept almost getting into fights with kids for bumping into me or trying to kick the ball away from me. So there was one game in particular, there was this fucking kid, and I chased him halfway across the field. The ball was that way. I ran to the opposing goal to chase him because he was a defender. I was ready to beat his ass.
What'd he do?
I don't remember, but I know that my dad took me out of the game. He's like, yeah, you better sit down.
Nice.
You know, my coach was like this, I don't know, South American guy, so clearly he could play soccer in his sleep. And I didn't absorb any of that knowledge because I was 6 or 7 and terrible at sports. So, yeah, you want to play the game. You want to be the one with the ball. That's why he's getting so mad.
Yeah, he's a very bad, poor sport. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
My God, that kid got kicked off so many teams in school.
He did?
He wasn't allowed to play competition type games either during A+ or recess because he was such a bad sport.
He was like yelling at people and getting mad all the time?
Yeah, because he wasn't winning or he couldn't do it his way.
Oh.
So he would get mad.
Boy, that kid is going to have a hard life.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. He used to be like a big risk taker. I mean, he used to be like our adventurous one. And we really don't know what happened. It's just like all of a sudden, bam, he's just like this angry kid all the time that just wants it his way. If it's not his way, it's Cryville.
Ah, Jesus Christ. So he's a pussy.
He's turning out that way. Sorry, I love you, but sorry.
He's not going to fucking hear this.
I know I'm talking to my husband.
He don't care. He probably thinks he's a pussy too.
Oh,
It's
man.
Okay. It's okay. The 10-year-old's a pussy and my 6-year-old is terrible at most things.
This kind of this will explain. Well, I guess I can't really say it'll explain, but it accentuates how babyish he can get. Like I said, he used to be our big risk taker. Mm-hmm. We got a one of those pull behind tubes just this summer for the boat. It's like one of those big ones. You can either have it facing forward or reversible. So we hooked it up to the boat, and both boys got on it. And holding on, they were leaning forward a little bit too far, and this being our first time ever with one of these things, we didn't know how that they were supposed to sit or whatever.
Did number one fan Tim give it too much gas and they both went flying?
No, he actually gave it just enough gas, but as soon as it started going, the boys were leaning too far, and they literally went under the water.
I don't think it's supposed to do that.
It's not supposed to do that. And our 10-year-old just started screaming and crying. He was so afraid he was going to drown, and he had a life jacket on. I mean...
Wow. Tell that to the people that were on the Titanic.
I know. I just thought about that.
All I just think about is the scene when the rescue boats show up and they're shining lights and there's all these frozen corpsicles floating about in the ocean next to the lifeboats of other people that are barely still alive.
Yeah. Yep.
And then you got the jacksicle stuck to the door and she snaps him off of there and just lets him go.
And he sinks down into the deep, dark abyss.
Yeah, well, shouldn't have got on that fucking boat.
Exactly. So, but yeah, he refuses to go on that, on the pull behind tube now because he's so afraid of it.
I had a bad experience with one of those, but I was 24. And this was my, at the time, live-in girlfriend's grandfather. And we were in Luck, Wisconsin. They have like a miniature lake behind where he lives.
Okay.
He gave it some gas. And I really had to try to, I had to use my legs as rudders to balance myself from flipping over.
Really?
Yes. I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing? I'm not wearing a life jacket and he's 70. Who the hell's going to come fish my body out before I'm floating at the top? So I'm going, and he's whipping me around, and I'm going like sideways. I'm like, shit. Well, I caught the right amount of wake, and I went tumbling like a ninja star. Like every one of my appendages was flailing, and I went side over side and smacked the back of my fucking head on the water and saw not a flash, but I think I opened my eyes just enough to see it. I'm like, holy shit, and I'm feeling around for where the top is because...
You're so disorientated.
I was a little dizzy. I may have been a minute bit concussed.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if he's just mad because I was pooning his granddaughter or what, but...
That's a payback.
Well, see, here's the thing, is she wanted to fool around in the hot tub while he was inside watching TV. I was really nervous about it because I figured he had to walk by a window and get curious at some point. Uh-huh. I mean, if he's smart, he knows not to look outside.
Yeah.
But people are curious, so they look outside. At one point, she's knobbing me off on the corner of the goddamn thing, and I'm like, I swear to fuck, if your grandfather sees this, and then he yells at me, I'm blaming you. And she's like, he's not gonna... I'm like, don't stop! I'm just telling you! God! And then fast forward to a half an hour later, and I'm standing up, and like the tie on my swim trunks had come undone. I stand up just to tie it. Nothing's going on. Her grandmother pokes her head out. She's like, oh, turn around and do that. I'm like, nothing is happening right now. I know how this looks. And I'm thinking to myself, because everything already happened.
That you may or may not have already seen.
Nah, she wasn't there. She had just gotten there.
Okay.
Oh.
So it was just Grandpappy.
Yeah. But, since we're talking water sports, like the girls, the little one, Chi-Chi, she doesn't want to venture beyond the steps in the pool. The Juice will if she's got like a combination floaty built into a life jacket. Mm-hmm. And I got screamed at by the beast for picking her up and just throwing her into the air and letting her drop into the pool. I'm like, what? I'm the dad. I'm supposed to play rough. How's she ever going to learn how fucking fun it is to get tossed into a pool if nobody tossed her into a pool?
Right.
Why don't we wrap her in goddamn bubble wrap and stick her in a box until she's 18, right? Fuck yourself.
Are you fucking kidding me?
That's how our 6-year-old was, too. When we first started bringing her up to the lake and everything, she hated the water. Our 9-year-old, 10-year-old, and 13-year-old, they're like fish. Now they're like fish.
But the young one, now are we talking about only in the lake or the lake and the pool?
Both.
She didn't like the pool?
She was so afraid. She goes out there now if I can coax her out there.
Oh, Jesus.
If I have her sitting on the side of the pool or on the steps or whatever and I go towards her, she starts giggling and she'll be like, no, you're not pulling me in. Even though she's either got a life jacket on or I'll hold her like really tight. Uh-huh. But just this last summer, she finally started getting the gumption to go out there with her life jacket on in the pool and swim around and swim in the deep end and everything like that as long as I was with her. Mm-hmm. But in the lake, oh my gosh, she will not go any further than knee-high.
You can't see the bottom.
I hated swimming in lakes when I was a kid, too, so I think that's probably where she gets it.
That's a pretty safe lake.
Yeah.
We don't need to say the name of the lake.
No.
But I've never heard anybody talking about swimmer's itch or stepping on a broken bottle or anything. Or, like a dishwasher being in the middle of the goddamn thing.
I know there's an anchor in there somewhere.
Is there?
Yeah.
Well, did Tim
Papa
tell you
lost
about
it.
Did Tim ever tell you about the time I hit him in the head with a life-saving ring by mistake?
I don't know if I recall that one or not.
We were out on the bass buggy, the old gray pontoon.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, here, take this. And I took it and I frisbeed it at him. I didn't know how fucking far to throw that thing. I'd never tossed one of those before. And it caught him in the forehead. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry. And he's like, you fucking hit me in the head? Really? He's like, what if I would have been unconscious? I'm like, at least you would have had a flotation device nearby.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess I understand her wariness of the lake, but not the pool. There was a time Tim was up in the pool with one other friend, and I went up there to bullshit with him. And I was sitting on the bench that they don't have anymore, that used to be for the cover for the pool.
Okay.
And then I got up and I started walking along the edge. And my parents had told me, if you go up there, you better not get wet. Right? And I'm like, how the fuck am I going to get wet?
Yeah.
I'm outside the pool. I'm walking, and I'm doing what all kids do. I'm tempting fate by walking as close to the lip of the edge of the pool as possible. My foot slipped. I went in with 1.5 legs, and then I hopped out. So, at a diagonal 75-degree angle, my pants and shoes were soaked.
Nice.
So I had to go walk home, I fell in the pool. What do you mean you fell in the pool? Well, it seems pretty fucking self-explanatory, Linda. I'm wet. I was up at a pool. Do you need me to continue connecting the dots? I fell in the pool. Well, how did you do that? Gravity? I was walking on the edge of the pool talking to Tim, being a wise ass, and I fell in. Let's just fucking get another pair of pants on and let's not make a big thing about this, all right? Where's my sandals? Because my shoes are wet.
You're a kid. It happens.
I was
so many kids fall in the freaking pool.
I was 9 or 10.
Well, see, that's the perfect age for you to learn how to swim.
However, there was a time when I was 12 or 13 when I went out there to talk to Tim, and fucking his brother was out there with another friend, and they were going to throw me in the goddamn pool.
I think I heard about that.
I grabbed onto some stranger's chair leg. And I'm like,
Did you
Mr.
really?
Help me, sir. And he's just looking at me like, what the fuck am I going to do? I'm pulling, and I almost snapped the leg off one of those plastic resin deck chairs.
Nice.
Yeah. Finally, they gave up because they realized I wasn't going in. But it's like, you dick. Thanks. I didn't fucking forget about that.
Oh my gosh. That
Yeah.
is hilarious.
Let's move on to the 13-year-old and baseball, which actually it seems like he's pretty good at.
Well, again, I never really went to any of his games because I was with the other two babysitting, being a mother. But I do know that he liked to stand in the outfield and basically watch the clouds go by because baseball was not very
Interesting to him.
It's
not very interesting to sane people.
Yeah.
Because the best thing you can do in baseball is to not get any hits against you. What a brilliant fucking thing to devote 3.5 hours of your life to.
Yep.
Hoping nobody scores. No, if I wanted to do that, I'd just go to my parents' house and watch them sit on the floor and the couch respectively and not want to fuck each other for the last 20 years. Nobody scores. Wow.
Yeah.
That game's like, I don't even know what inning they're in. But I've gone to other Neil's son's baseball games a couple times. They're fairly uneventful. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the kids get a hit. You cheer way too loud when something does happen because you're like, finally, fucking something.
And then you get in trouble. You're being too loud.
No, I didn't get that. But, so baseball can be very boring, and he also stands in the outfield. However, he's pretty attentive. So, if
My
Junior,
13-year-old's not.
If Junior's sitting there counting clouds and picking his boogers, I can see why he doesn't like baseball. It's like, why stick with it then? Do something else. Try basketball. I don't know.
Well, see, the thing about it is the 13-year-old, he's...
Going through some changes?
Well, now he is, yes.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my God. He's got the little... The
dirty mustache?
Yeah.
Oh.
And his voice is changing, so
Is
it's
it?
like, yeah.
Does it crack like this?
Yeah. It's actually a lot deeper than what it used to be.
Really?
He's actually our 13-year-old. He's gotten into airsoft now with myself and my husband. And he's kind of creepy when I watch him because he'll just walk around and he'll just stare you down. The 13-year-old. He just stares you down.
He's got a good attention span then, I guess. I don't know.
Well, from what my husband was telling me, I wasn't at this game. But he and the 13-year-old were on a team together. Mm-hmm. And the 13-year-old went and actually, by accident, joined the other team.
How do you accidentally join the other team?
He forgot which team he was on.
Oh, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, so he started shooting up his own team.
Oh. Friendly fire.
Yep, exactly. Gotta love it.
I hate this stupid game.
But yeah, he's pretty good at it. He likes to, obviously he's 13 and he can fiddle around with an airsoft rifle, so he's kind of giddy about it. But other than that, he's becoming an all-around pretty good kid.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. He should probably do some push-ups.
Probably.
Now that the testosterone's kicking in.
Yeah. He just lays around in bed, watches TV, plays video games, and eats us out of house and all.
Definitely probably should get him with some weights then, so he can fill out early because I started way too late. And more importantly, once you have that puberty onset, it is way easier to build muscle fast.
Yeah. So
definitely get him on something like that. What other notes did number one fan send you with?
Earlier this summer,
Uh-huh.
our 9-year-old was, the 9-year-old, the 10-year-old, and the 6-year-old were at the park down the street. And the 10-year-old comes running home saying, Mom, Dad, you gotta come help. Quick, she's stuck. Not knowing what's going on, we get down to the park and find out that our 9-year-old, our 9-year-old oldest daughter, our gymnast 9-year-old daughter is stuck.
Where?
She's stuck on the monkey bars.
On the top?
On the top, and she can't get down.
What the fuck? Jump down.
She was afraid.
I would have left her ass there. Said, figure that shit out. You're 4.5, maybe 5 feet off the ground. If you start to hang down, you're only 2 feet off the ground. So pull this shit off.
Right. And like I said, she's a gymnast. She's been in gymnastics since she was like freaking 4.
Uh-huh.
And she couldn't get off the monkey bars.
Well, clearly she's not the next Dominic Dawes.
No, not by any means.
Whereas the Juice, and I'm going to segue into Juice's karate now, she is no Daniel-san. She is fucking... maybe it's my fault for starting her when she's 5. She kept mixing up left and right, and you're supposed to kick forward and keep your hands up when you kick. She'd flail her arms out sideways, and she'd kick the wrong direction, and she'd be like looking the wrong way all the time. And I was just sitting there rubbing my eyes like, this is fucking terrible. This is terrible. And I can't leave because this was my thing. And worse off, what's worse than going to a beginner's karate class and having to watch your own kids suck is watching the other kids suck in too close of a proximity and waiting for that flailing kick to hit somebody. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, it never came. But there's this one little kid. This little black guy, and he could not fucking understand personal space. He was always half on top of somebody.
Yeah.
And the Beast was always getting pissed. He's like, I'm going to fucking say something to his dad. I'm like, and he's not going to hear you because he's always nose buried in his goddamn phone playing Scrabble, or maybe he's trying to find somebody to fuck tonight. I don't know, but he doesn't pay attention. So that was the first session. I mean, she eventually started to get the whole left versus right, but the kicking was so fucked up. And I kept telling her, I'm like, okay, keep your hands in front of your face. Defend yourself. Mm-hmm. Oh, like this? She turns them like she's showing off the backs of her knuckles and they're at like nipple level. Like this? No, your fucking face. Mm-hmm. She didn't understand that.
God damn it.
But she made it through that one. So then we fast forward to session number 2, the returning class. Different sensei, different location. I called it New Karate. I made a song about it to get her excited to go. And then we get there and they're learning stance set. And for those that don't know, in youth American Kempo, stance set is 38 different stances for all your different moves for karate. They had to memorize them, all 38 in a row, to get a ribbon. That's it, you get a fucking ribbon.
Nice. She
never got it, and when it came to the final class, she spent 10 minutes with extra help with one of the student aides. She didn't pick like the bubbly fun one. No, she picked the quiet, awkward one that's like pale and wears way too much makeup for this and clearly just is screaming for male attention she's not getting because I don't think she got hugged enough as a kid. And she doesn't fucking talk a lot. On the Juices, blah, 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 the whole fucking time and not absorbing any of it. And finally, they're just like, are you ready to go? She's like, I'm not going to do it.
What?
You just made this girl spend 10 minutes fucking focusing on this shit with you.
Yeah.
And I sat on the bench and shut my pie hole while you did it. And now you're not even going to try? Well, no wonder this girl's so shy and awkward all the time. Everybody keeps giving her the short end of the stick. And not the kind she's probably hoping for. It's fucking awful. So we gave up on karate. And by we, I mean she gave up on karate. And then I took adult classes, which was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I totally dig it. I put forth effort into it. I tried to get her to practice. She wouldn't. By the end, I pretty much knew the stance set. Where's my fucking ribbon? I mean, I've got my yellow belt and I'm working on my orange now, which puts me at about the same level as your average 7-year-old. But the techniques are more defined and there's more impact involved when you're doing the adult one. Mm-hmm. So now we've got gymnastics, and God knows what the little one's going to be into because she climbs everything, she jumps off everything, she has no fear, except sometimes she gets shy.
That's how our 6-year-old is too.
I don't know. And I've told stories about her picking her poops and picking her nose. And she's always tooting and saying, I tooted. And I just went, no, you don't. If you don't say it, nobody will find out. How you ever hope to get away with this shit in public? You think I walk around Cub Foods and I'm like, oh, I just tooted. Anybody? Anybody? You want to come hit this? I had tacos last night. Come breathe deep. Come on. Learn to love the farts.
But getting back to kicking and whatnot and the fear of getting hit. Earlier this year, my 9-year-old received her first black eye.
All right.
her biological father took her to gymnastics one day.
That sounds like a cold day in hell.
And they come home, and I'm looking at the 9-year-old, and something just does not look right with her. I'm like, what happened? He goes, well, we had kind of a bit of an accident. Like, what the hell kind of accident happened? And he told me that a girl had gone up to do like one of those backflips or round-offs or whatever the heck it was called. And when her feet came down, it caught my 9-year-old in the face.
Oh, shouldn't have been standing there.
Yeah. So she had, it was all pink and red. It never like really turned black and blue, but it was puffy and it was pink for like 3 days. And I just felt so bad for her. So that was the only, aside from a potential fracture, which I don't think ever really turned into much. That's the only thing that she's ever had so far was just a black eye.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
You're listening to Blumpkin and Friends.
I have a surprise for you.
You do?
I do. You won't be playing Guess Who Karaoke Roulette tonight.
Damn it!
Were you, like, excited to sing?
Yeah.
Oh, darn it. You're going to take your first foray into the RPS challenge.
Yay!
So, our current champion is Nurse Ashley.
Okay.
You won't be playing Nurse Ashley.
Okay,
because
who
it's
am I
your
playing?
first time. You're playing number one fan Tim.
Yay! My hubby!
Who recently lost the title to Nurse Ashley. He's not very good at racking up consistent wins consecutively. He'll get a win here and a win there.
I usually beat him at this when we're at home, so we'll see if it continues into here.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Blumpkin and Friends proudly brings to you the Rock, Paper, Scissors Intercontinental Championship Challenge Championship of the World! Hand number 1.
Paper.
You actually don't have to do the hand motions. I have his.
It makes me think easier.
Makes you think easier?
Yes.
Okay, he threw a scissors.
Shit!
Points to number 1, fan Tim. Hand number 2.
Rock.
He threw a paper.
Damn it! Oh no, I win! I get that one.
Paper covers rock.
No, paper. Rock breaks through paper.
Would be if the paper was a hymen and he was stoning a whore.
Damn it.
Who shouldn't have a hymen because she's a whore, but I'm just making up these
Is
on the
this
fly.
how many
This
out
is
of...
out of 5.
Okay, shit, I gotta get the
Or
next
up
3
to
right.
8. Yeah, you got to run the table. So good luck with that. Hand number 3.
Paper.
He threw a rock. Paper covers rock.
Yay! I got one.
I just want to point out that he sent these to me like a week and a half ago, and I've just been sitting on them, not knowing who he was going to go up against. I also am sitting on the next one for Nurse Ashley, and that's for like 2 weeks. I don't know who's going to fucking play her. Hand number 4.
Scissor.
Gets beaten by his rock. So he's already won, but we're going to play it out just to see what the tally is here.
Husband, you suck.
Hand number 5.
Paper.
He threw a scissors.
God damn it.
Wow, so he whooped your ass.
Oh,
He's never had a dominating victory before, so he just totally bent you over.
you better make that ass whooping good.
I feel like there's some double speak involved there.
Wink, wink.
Interact with the show on Twitter at Blumpkin Show. That is at Blumpkin Show. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/Blumpkin and Friends. I'm the Reverend Johnny Blumpkin.
I am Mrs. Number 1 fan.
And she said it correctly this time.
Yay.
Good night.
New karate, ha-ya! New karate, ha-ya! New karate is so fun!
Hiya!